So right now we're recording.
Are you alright?
Stop.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Don't mind me.
I know which way to turn here. All right, good morning, and thank you for coming
I'm not
to
getting you
Bright
guys.
Ideas. The glass shield is down, and we're good to go. All right, I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Tyler Primmel, and I'm a professor and a coordinator in the School of Computer Technology. Part of my job is to coordinate programs, part of my job is to teach programs within the school, and part of my job is to act as the liaison between industry partners such as yourselves and our students in trying to foster opportunities for innovation and work placements. Part of my job today is to talk to you about what Bright Ideas, this event that you're at, is all about. And Bright Ideas is about you. In saying this, Bright Ideas is about recognizing the diversity of industries who are sitting in this room and participating with us today, and it's about giving us a chance to thank you for supporting George Brown College as well as our students. George Brown College is about making digital technology visions a reality for you. It's about recognizing some of the challenges that we face and that you all collaboratively face in trying to integrate digital technologies. And it's about trying to find opportunities to understand how George Brown College can begin to contribute to helping you in creating solutions. George Brown, Bright Ideas is about creating collaboration and fostering innovation. It's about allowing you and giving you an opportunity to connect with your peers who are facing similar technology challenges, and it's about learning of the successful relationships that we've fostered with businesses already. And finally, Bright Ideas is about turning thoughts into things and making tweets tangible. So part of what today is it's a technology demonstration as well. What we've got positioned up here are some of the latest technology LED lighting systems. At about the halfway mark of today's session, you are going to be tweeting your ideas, ways in which you feel you can help to innovate, ways in which your businesses can innovate. Your tweets are going to be powering this lighting system, and it's going to be captured within a dynamically evolving and growing word cloud system. So this should be fun. I will just say very quickly that this lighting system is something that we had the concept of about a week ago. I'm going to thank Kevin Isco for really giving us the seed and giving us this idea. But beyond that, our students have taken us and given us the opportunity to take our concept and turn it into something tangible. That's what you see in front of you. So essentially, your tweets are going to translate into turning on the lights. The lights are going to be captured within the word cloud process. To help stimulate your thinking today, we have some bright speakers. So you are going to hear from Taimur Zaman, the president of the Access Group and the co-founder of 1 Million Acts of Innovation. Taimur is going to talk about the need for SMEs, small to medium-sized enterprises, to begin to innovate and integrate digital technology. Colin Furness is the Director of Research and Knowledge Development for a great partnering company with George Brown College, Infonaut, and George Brown has been working with Infonaut for nearly the past 3 years in helping them to integrate their technology, Hospital Watch Live, into hospital settings, and they're now expanding throughout North America with the assistance of George Brown. Robert Smith is the president of Convergineering, a forward-thinking and future-thinking company who is in the next generation of building space. And finally, Robert Luke, the assistant vice president of George Brown College, is going to talk to you about opportunities to work with us. To begin to talk about how we can help you and how George Brown College can work with you. George Brown works to develop students to become the next generation experts within specific domains. The domains that we teach in the School of Computer Technology begins with analysis and design, translates down to design, development, and implementation type work and specializations, and maintenance and troubleshooting type work and opportunities. Beyond this, though, in the context of the School of Computer Technology, we have the capacity to work with industry to help solve challenges that are faced through the entire software and system development lifecycle, and opportunities through applied research funding, as well as industry placements give our students the opportunity to help you in fulfilling whatever requirements you may face. The bright opportunities that we hope you get from today. We hope that you can recognize that with the value of students integrated within industry, working to create vision, and being provided with opportunities, sponsorship funding, and resources through the college and through the college's funding partners will help to create bright ideas for everyone. I would like to start by recognizing our sponsor today, DTAB, who is funding this event, for supporting us, and who is in the business and who are providing funding opportunities to help small to medium-sized enterprises with technology adoption. So thank you to DTAB, and we hope that we can continue to work with DTAB as we move forward. I would now like to introduce Taimur Zem from the Access Group.
So welcome everybody, and thank you, George Brown, for inviting me to be here today, and thank you for being here this morning. I know it's Friday morning, and you could probably be a million different places, doing a million different things, and I just want to say thank you for your time. So my first question, and I don't know how to go to my slides, so do I press, okay, there we go. My first question to you is, why is innovation important to you? And I'd love to get some volunteers. Anybody who wants to start up talk about why is innovation important to you?
So that we can do things better.
So that we can do that. Awesome. Anybody else? Yeah.
Plan your future and opportunities.
Opportunities. Awesome. I have one right here.
Stay ahead of the competition.
Stay ahead of the competition. Awesome, brilliant. So really quick group. So I'm going to share a personal story about me, and I apologize if it's personal about me. So my father's from India, and I came here when I was 10 years old. My father was the managing director of a bank, and when we immigrated to Canada, what he had to do to pay the bills was to be working in a gas station, filling people's gift cards. And this is what he had to do just to pay the bills. So why do I share that story? It's because when I look at what's the trends that's taking place in the world, our biggest neighbor partner in the U.S. and the debt issue that they're facing, Greece going bankrupt, just, our planet getting warmer, people getting fatter. Emerging markets are now building not only manufacturing, but they're now able to compete on design and value add. What I see is a threat, and the threat is our standard of living. When I look at Conference Board of Canada or any research that even George Brown demonstrated, is our level of productivity is declining. Our household debt compared to the U.S. is going up. So we're becoming poorer. And I see that our standard of living is declining. And I want to share something personal about me. And again, I apologize personal about me. I have no desire to move to India and fill up somebody's gas, fill up somebody's government risk. Nor do I want my time for my future kids. Does that make sense? And so something I realized while we started to grow 1 million acts of innovation was human beings, moment by moment, every human being, moment by moment, we're doing one of two things. We're either creating or we're consuming. In each second, as a human being, I'm either creating or I'm consuming. And we found that when people are creating, they're actually alive. They're real, they're self-expressed. Does that make sense? And so that's why I think innovation is something that's important because it gives us the opportunity to create and innovate. So now my second question is why me? Why is it that you and me want to go and create something or innovate something or bring innovation into something that's important to us? Does anybody want to volunteer? Why would you want to be responsible for taking innovation or bringing innovation to your businesses and companies?
Care about my business owner.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Gives us meaning. Gives us meaning. Gives us meaning.
What do you mean by that?
I guess at the end of your life or your work life, that you look back at what you did and if you're innovative, it's something that you're proud of.
Right, so you leave a legacy behind, right? Awesome, that's great. So here's a distinction I want to share with you, and it's a distinction of being responsible. And it's not a normal distinction that people usually relate to. And so here's what I mean by that. I'm responsible for the money I have and for the money I don't have. I'm responsible for the weight I have and for the weight I don't have. Does that make sense? So let's say I want to sell a piece of paper. And I want to sell it to this gentleman. I'll be coming to him and saying, do you want to buy a piece of paper? Sure, okay, go ahead. But let's assume you say no. No, okay, right. So what most people do is say, oh, he didn't buy that piece of paper. Something's wrong with him. Really? Or something's wrong with the product that I'm selling, or something that's wrong with the economy, like some version of something. Distinction responsibility is a different place to look from and think from. And when I practice distinction responsibility, what it means is, if he didn't buy it, how was I being responsible for it not buying it? Versus, oh, he's cheap. Versus, the economy sucks. Versus, man, I work for that. Which is what most people do. So distinction responsibility is a distinction I offer you for you to think about and something to practice. For areas that's important to you, take a look at my romantic relationships, my money, my future, my career, my business issues. How am I responsible? As a different place to look from. And the practice of being responsible, you'll start to notice something. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because for Canada's innovation and standard of living and productivity to go up, I want you to consider both you and me are responsible. See, when a small group of people get together and say, we are being responsible for the future of innovation in Canada, it's a different place to look from versus was our government taxes or Canada's, I don't know, geography doesn't. It's a different place to look from, isn't it? Does that make sense? And so my interest on why George Mason. One of the things I've noticed for myself is that the business issues we're dealing with today in our life is a lot more complicated than what we used to deal with 50 years ago. 50 years ago, if you told me Greece is going to go bankrupt, I would probably not believe. 12 years ago, if you told me something called social media will change how businesses drive the consumers, I probably would not believe you. I believe the business issues that you and I are dealing with today are far more complicated than what our peers dealt with or predecessors dealt with 10 years ago. Does that resonate? And so one of the things that I've noticed with students is that they have a different way of thinking. One of the things that we talk about in Meeting Acts of Innovation is if you want to produce a different result, start to have a conversation with a different person. It usually means me stop having a conversation with myself. Really, if I want to produce a different result for me, I should probably stop having a conversation with me. And one of the things I found with students is that they have a different point of view. About 6 months ago, it was midnight, and I was working with a colleague of mine, and I noticed a student that was doing some intern with us is emailing another student who's doing some intern with us on a complicated project that they were working on. And I looked at my colleague and I said, if you're paying staff, I'm not sure this is what the result you would get, the devotion, dedication you would get. I found for myself, every day when I go to work, because we've surrounded ourselves with students, there's the energy they bring in, there's a vibe they bring in, there's a creativity they bring in, and they have transformed how I go to work, my relationship to my career. And it gives me a chance, and at first I was thinking, this is an opportunity for me to do some mentorship and coaching, give them some work experience, and I was blown away by what I call as reverse mentorship. Students started to teach me and all of my colleagues on something called collaboration. I started to remember when I was 5 years old playing the playground, and the toys we used to share. And now I walk into corporations and it's like, don't you dare touch my budget. Really. And so the value that the students bring in is awesome. I've also got to know George Brown College recently. I had the pleasure of working with Robert Luke, Nancy's team, and I've just been blown away by how this is a college that's gone from just being a college to how do we build programs that moves businesses forward. And my invitation to you is, I want you to consider each one of you have a business issue that you're probably dealing with, grasping with. And I want you to consider there's talent in this college that will help you transform that. There's talent that will help you change and get you to think differently about that business. In the process, I promise you'll make a difference to the lives of the students you work with. You give them an opportunity for them to come and play in an area that they haven't played in. And as you said, one day you and me are going to die, and all that's left for us is a legacy. So I would say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here. And it's a Friday morning, you could be doing many other places, and I want you to consider the fact that you're sitting here demonstrates that you're committed to something. And the fact that you're here at George Brown College breakfast, I'm inserting that what you're committed to is the future leaders of our country to be successful. So if there's something that you're going to walk away with, my invitation to you, definitely pick up a business card from any of the George Brown staff. And with that, I want to introduce the next speaker, Colin.
Good morning. My name is Colin Furness, and I also don't know how to use my slides. There we go. I never go to breakfast meetings. I never go to breakfast meetings. But I could not say no to this for a very, very significant reason, and that is that Infonaut owes a huge debt of gratitude to George Brown College, and I think you'll understand that in about 6 or 7 minutes. A few more things that I need to say. Who's Infonaut? Hospital-acquired infections, things that you go to a hospital with that you didn't have when you went into a hospital and ended up with, that's a hospital-acquired infection. It kills about 10,000 people here in Canada. That's the thin edge of the wedge. The number of people who actually get sick and almost but don't quite expire is obviously a lot higher. Infonaut started in the wake of SARS, looking at health information. Oh, it was on. Can you hear me yet? Well, I just need to get really good close to the mic. Thank you. Infonaut has levered geographic information systems expertise that it developed in the wake of SARS to see health information in a whole different way, to apply, in a sense, innovation to how this information can be used. So the main product of Infonaut, we've been working on this for years, is called Hospital Watch Live. If you can imagine every patient, every staff member, and every moving piece of equipment in a hospital wearing a badge that pings, and a mesh of receivers that listen to these pings, and that do a lot of geospatial calculation, you can imagine that when a patient then gets a symptom of a nasty infection, with a couple of clicks of the mouse, you can see where they've been, who they've been roommates with, who they've been in the elevator with, who needs to be isolated, who needs to be tested, what equipment needs to be decontaminated. That's the promise. We're piloting it now at Toronto General Hospital, and we're just about to go live. We've already made an interesting discovery, which is beds and mattresses play musical chairs with each other. This is something that no one actually paid attention to. And that's interesting because beds are just about the biggest transmission factor for hospital-acquired infections. So we've already learned something new and we haven't even flipped the switch yet. From what I've described, and believe me, I could go on for hours, you can imagine we have a lot of problems to solve. We have a lot of hardware, we have a lot of software, we need to worry about organizational behavior. And if you know hospitals, you know that's a capital of organizational behavior. And a number of related fields, including epidemiology, which is one of the hats that I wear. So we have a lot of hardware problems, a lot of software problems, a lot of business problems, and a lot of domain expertise problems. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm so grateful to George Brown College. Because we're still in business today, despite this long list of problems and challenges. Theory and practice are the same in theory, but different in practice. Someone a lot more clever than I have said that. I just don't know who. When we think about an education, what is an education? Yeah, there's theory and there's practice. There's expertise, what you learn in the book, and there's experience, what you get used to actually applying. I wear my epidemiology hat, so I thought I'd give you an epidemiology lesson. Efficacy and effectiveness, the same idea. Efficacy is when something works perfectly in the lab. You have a controlled experiment, and you understand the relationship between variables, and when everything is done well, you can understand that relationship. Effectiveness is what happens when you take that into the real world and everything goes wrong. So we can talk about things being efficacious, but that doesn't mean that it'll be in any way. And as I say, this idea of education, capital E education, has to have both. You need to learn theory, you need it in practice. You need to build the expertise, but you also need experience. You need to understand efficacy, but you need to be able to achieve effectiveness. That's capital E education. School and industry. So for me, that's George Brown College and Infomar. I wear a number of hats. Sometimes my head feels pretty heavy, and one of them is an instructor at the University of Toronto. Universities have a hard time achieving capital E education. They're very, very good on the left-hand side of the column. But I have a lot of students who come to me and say, well, how do I get a job? I can't get a job without experience, and I can't get experience without a job. It's not an easy thing to answer. And I think that the best answer is you embed it in the education process. And that is that is why I'm up early, that is why I'm at this breakfast meeting, that is why I'm so grateful to George Brown. I have two inspiring stories. I probably worked with about 30 or so George Brown students by now. Actually, I've lost count. This has been in business analysis, helping to sort out some complex process problems. This has been in computer networking, obvious reasons. It's also been in mechanical engineering. One of the things that we do with our badges and our receivers is rate and measure hand hygiene compliance. And we do that by embedding technology into soap and gel dispensers. That was done at George Brown College. So my two inspiring stories, and I want to keep it brief, is what I call Joshua's surprise and Adam's inventions. These could be fables, but they're true. They're a little bit instructive. Joshua is a great computer networking student. He was a little bit short on the right-hand side of the column, on the experience. Very, very bright guy. He solved all sorts of problems, and when we hit the latest wall, he said, okay, great, we can solve this. Where's the documentation? And I don't know if you've ever told someone there's no such thing as Santa Claus, and then looked at the expression on their face. But this was a real-world experience for him. There's no documentation. This thing just got built. It got built by guys on the other side of the world, and they probably stayed up all night for 2 weeks to do it, and there's no documentation. So there was a pause, and thought, all right, well, I guess I'll figure it out. I will figure this out. He spent a long time figuring it out, and then had a list of questions he couldn't figure out. Great, let's call the guys in Norway who built this, and let's talk to them about this, and we did. And since that time, there was almost an audible sound of turning the corner and understanding that all this expertise that he has still actually has to be rooted in the real world. And if there's no documentation, the problem still has to be solved and has to be done in a different way. And he was very well prepared to do that. And I think it's been absolutely fantastic watching him since that moment. That he actually solves problems not necessarily by following the way it should be done, but by looking at reality and figuring out what needs to be done. So that's Joshua's surprise. Adam's inventions. Adam is a mechanical engineering student, and he's been a lot of the effort and brains behind embedding our technology into gel and soap dispensers. And Adam was a little bit further along than Joshua. Adam had already had, I could tell in an instant, Adam had already had a great deal of industry contact, because he kept saying to me, yeah, I've got to sit in the lab and work all this stuff, but I need to get into the hospital. I need to walk around. I need to see where this stuff is being used. I thought to myself, I know you do, but I need you to stay in the lab and build this stuff. So there was a little bit of back and forth. But eventually I realized that yes, he had to come to the hospital, have a look around, and watch him paying attention to what needs to be paid attention to, seeing things that other people don't see, applying a design lens, using his expertise and using his experience in observing the environment to come up with things that we hadn't thought of. Most recently, he started working on a problem we hadn't even identified yet, and I asked him, well, we don't even have a project plan or a budget for this, and here you are working on this, why would you do that? And he said, well, it needs doing, look, it needs doing. And I think that is just the best possible instantiation of the right-hand side of that column, of that effectiveness, of that practice, of that industry. And we, Infonaut has hired now, I believe, 2 George Brown students. We're a very small company. We're still in single digits, so that's big. We're continuing to hire, and we know where we're going to do that. That has worked out very, very, very well for us. I have to say that we just really couldn't do this on our own. We need that partnership. We need that partnership, and I think the students also benefit from it. And again, one last time, because I think I've only said it twice, I don't go to breakfast meetings. But I'm here today because I'm so grateful to George Brown. So thank you for your time, and I'd like to turn this back to Tyler.
All right, so thank you so much, Colin and Tamor. It's fantastic. What we're now going to do is we're going to turn it over to you and turn it over to our students. So at each of your tables, you have at least one business analyst student. What we're going to do is we're going to run a little bit of a charrette. So we want to start building ideas and generating ideas and start thinking and start tweeting and start making things happen in here. So we're going to take about 12 minutes and work through this as best as we can. I'll give you something of a 2-minute warning. 2-minute notice. There's going to be no warning. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys to get started. So start discussing. Business analysts, do what you do. Lead on. Any listen.